coffee shop.
Sweetheart, why do you have to always go down to that coffee place? Why don't you spend some time with me?
Bye, Mom.
I know you're so funny.
Hey, you don't mind if I squeeze in, do you?
What are you doing?
Thank you so much.
Look who's here. Where have you been lately?
Oh, I joined the Marines and just got back from boot camp. Where the hell do you think I've been?
See, you didn't lose that sweet, wonderful disposition of yours at boot camp. Bite me, Murray. I assume you want your regular?
It's just so sweet of you to remember. Yes, I want my usual.
One large caramel mojo, coming right up.
For your retirement fund, sweetie.
I'll bring it to your table in a jiffy.
It's gonna be the highlight of my day.
Yeah, we'll go to lunch afterwards. Well, I don't care. Wherever you want to go to lunch is fine with me. Tomorrow, first I'm going to yoga. Then I'm going
Good
to
to see you
brunch
too,
over the
Karen.
Gourmet. And then Skip and I are going to a birthday party over at Babs and
Excuse me.
Hold on just a minute. May I help you?
Look, I mean this in the nicest, sweetest way I know. But nobody in this place gives a red rat's ass if you go to yoga or a birthday party at Babs and Nikki's.
What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is if you don't shut that big, loud latte slit of yours, I'm gonna shove that phone so far up you're gonna have to push your nose to text.
Who do you think you're talking to?
My life so far has not been very pleasant. Not to mention, my boyfriend broke up with me yesterday with a text message. So it would be in your best interest not to let me demonstrate what I said I was going to do to you.
Well, I can see why he broke up with you. Did you hear that? I cannot believe. I'm going to talk to the management. I can't believe you talk to me like that.
Sure is.
Bravo.
Bravo for what?
Everybody who comes into this shop has wanted to tell that woman what we think of her, but this being a place of peace and harmony, nobody ever has.
Well, seems to me she's been disturbing that balance of peace and harmony for quite some time.
Would you like to sit down? You look interesting.
I guess. You look harmless enough.
Really? Do I?
Sure.
So I don't have what you call the creepy old guy look?
No, you seem cool.
Cool. Do I?
Enjoy.
Well, I'm glad I do. You don't know my relief.
I'm Carrie.
Walter,
Nice to meet you, Walter.
very nice to meet you.
Do you come here much?
2-3 times a week. What about you? Haven't seen you around here.
Well, on the very rare occasion I do come home, I usually end up here. Mom kind of smothers me.
I know that feeling well. When I used to come home from school, the last place I wanted to be was home. Later on, I realized that I was the last thing my mother had, and she was only trying to spend as much time as she could with me.
I never looked at it like that before.
But now, I should have spent more time with her. Now, where do you go to school?
Ole Miss.
What do you study?
Law. And as of yesterday, I've decided to become a divorce lawyer and crucify a lot of jackasses like my ex-boyfriend.
Now listen, if that fella dumped you in a text, believe me, he did you a really big favor. That is no one to try to have a lasting relationship with. He's a what would you call him? He would be considered a love coward.
I like that. I'm gonna use that term when I'm nailing jerks just like him.
Whoa, hold on. You're saying that you're just going to represent woman clients?
No, I'm just really pissed at men right now.
Well, that's perfectly understandable. Call it a hunch, but I'd be willing to bet that this is not your debut with this sort of thing.
I'm sorry. I always profile the term jerk to mean a guy.
There are just as many bad women as there are bad men.
Yeah, looking back, I guess I've broken a few hearts. Sometimes it wasn't always the nicest way.
We've all done that.
You don't look like the type that would hurt somebody.
Oh, really? Who am I to be immune? I've broken plenty of hearts in my life. And from that I have one particular wound in my heart that'll never heal.
I've never heard that before.
Relationships are very difficult to maintain. I guess you could call them true high maintenance. It's like a machine. You have to work on it every day. Take care of it every day. But both parties involved have to take care of that machine equally.
Well, with all my boyfriends in the past, it seemed like I was doing all of the work.
That is not a healthy relationship. No matter which one is doing all the work, it has to be a two-way street.
Well, I was doing all of the pothole maintenance on that two-way street. It's just, in society, woman is always expected to do all the work, and that doesn't make any sense to me.
I suppose that might be a little true.
Oh, it's a lot true, and it's not fair.
No, it's not. Maybe there is someone who would make an effort to change the norm, beginning with their next boyfriend. Maybe it'll catch on.
Won't be me. I never get with the right person. Never.
Sometimes the right person is sitting right next to you, standing right next to you, and you don't take the time to realize it until it's too late.
I don't think I quite follow what you're saying.
This might be a little awkward since we don't know each other, but I have some personal experiences that would, if you're interested.
I don't think it'd be awkward. Go ahead.
Throughout my life, I have let many wonderful, sweet women pass me in the night.
And why didn't you go out with any of these women?
I always thought that there was something a little bit better right around the next corner.
The other side of the fence. Yeah, I think we've all done that at some point.
I suppose so. Here's an example. In high school, I was in the band. I was just the typical student, you know, the good guy. But I thought being the opposite was much better, and I ended up getting myself kicked out of school my senior year.
What did you do?
To this day, I really don't know why. I think I was tired of being the nice guy and all that that entails. But at that moment, I changed to a very rebellious, angry young man. I did everything I could to get into trouble, and I did. And I didn't care about anything.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I felt like that too, like it would just be so much more fun to be the bad girl and do whatever. Now I'm not so sure. But then what happened?
Well, a very caring guidance counselor and my band director took up a lot of time with me and brought me back to some sense of saneness, but the damage had been done. I was going to have to repeat the 12th grade.
How'd you feel about that?
Humiliated. Of course, I was made fun of, ridiculed. There were people who said, he'll never amount to much. But that just made me work harder to prove everybody wrong, especially some in the administration.
Well, so did you succeed? Did you prove him wrong?
Yes.
Then what?
Well, I did things that were completely out of my character. Different even from when I was the good guy.
Details? Come on.
Well, I always knew I could sing a little, so I tried out for this song and dance group that was starting up that year, and I got in. And I had to keep my grades up to stay in that group, and I did.
But you got jacked up being in that group.
Yes, I did, and some of the comments were very unpleasant, but that just made me work harder.
But proving people wrong?
Sure. But it changed me to a person that wasn't very nice to a lot of people.
How so?
All that proving people wrong made my head start to enlarge.
You mean big-headed?
My head was huge. And it didn't stop there.
There's more?
A lot more. My attitude changed me to a person that was not nice. And later on, when the school was to produce this musical, the biggest musical in school history to date.
Let me guess. You got the lead role.
Yes, I did, and I thought I was a walking, talking dream come true. I didn't even know my old friends anymore. I was the new, most popular guy on campus.
Oh, I know the type really well. So,
You remember when I was telling you about somebody standing, could be the right person, could be
Yeah.
standing right next to you? Well, that happened to me. Only she wasn't standing, she was sitting next to me, actually.
oh, who was she?
I was first chair trumpet, and there was this girl who sat second chair, and we were real good friends, and she was a very good trumpet player, I might add. And I remember thinking to myself that what a really cool chick she was, and probably a great date. You still say chick?
Not so much anymore.
Mm.
But,
Well, anyway.
Did you take the chick out?
No, I did not.
So, why didn't you take her out?
Well, she was a little bit younger than me, and I thought, at that time, I thought that I wanted somebody a little bit better.
Ooh, you were conceited.
Textbook.
Pretty sure I would not have liked you back then.
You probably not.
Tell me more about her.
I really didn't notice at the time, but later I realized how really she was a very charming and beautiful lady. Amazing.
What was she like?
She had this original beauty that you didn't see often. Wouldn't stop. She was smart. She was funny, really funny, and she had long, straight hair, big brown eyes, biggest you've ever seen.
Original beauty. Never heard that before. Well, was she one of these ladies you let pass you by in the night?
As a matter of fact, she was.
Have you seen her since?
I haven't seen her in 34 years, but the last time I heard, she was a very successful lawyer for the government.
Well, I see you've got it down to the exact years.
I guess I do. But there's more to the story.
Well, go on.
The Friday after my graduation, my family and I went to a cousin's wedding in New Orleans. And when we got back, I received a letter.
From her.
Yes.
What'd it say?
After I had read it about 20 times, I concluded that what she was saying was that I was her hero. A knight in shining armor, if you'll excuse that corny saying. She wrote at the end that she couldn't tell me if she was in love with me because she'd never felt this way about a guy before.
Oh, trust me. She was in love with you. You wrote her back, right? Or called her or something?
No, I didn't.
Walter, that's lame. This beautiful girl pours her heart out to you and you do nothing?
But it stayed in my heart. That's why I'm telling you about it, because it made a difference. I must have read it every day for nearly a month after I got it, and I've never ever been touched by a letter like that before. And I keep it. I keep it in here to remind me what might have been.
Well, I'm sorry.
Other than 15 years, my luck with the ladies has been quite difficult.
Well, what about those 15 years?
I was married to, I see now, the love of my life, and then I lost her.
Oh, I'm sorry, Walter.
Oh, no, it's not what you think. It's much worse than death.
What could be worse than death?
I crushed my wife's heart.
How'd you lose each other?
I lost her.
You didn't cheat on her, did you?
No. I did something that, it's the next worst thing that could be done in a relationship. I took her for granted.
See, I don't think I quite understand taken for granted.
Well, I thought that I was the greatest thing in the world that had ever happened to her. I really did. And I thought no matter what I did or said anywhere, whatever happened, she would never leave me. And I treated her as such, and she left me.
Yeah, that's pretty bad though.
Yep. You know, it's strange we're talking about this subject, but after years of just feeling like an open wound, and this past Christmas Eve, and you're going to find this a little bit cheesy, but I really was starting to feel like I missed having someone special in my life.
It's not cheesy. It's sweet. But you don't have friends, family?
Sure, plenty, but it's not the same thing. What is a life if you don't have someone to share it with?
You know, what we've been talking about today has really made me think a lot.
Life is hard. Relationships are hard. We just have to decide to do the extra work and make it happen. Nothing worthwhile is ever easy.
Do you think you'll ever find another love of your life?
Carrie, listen really close to what I'm about to say. You will always have your first love. You can always have a few soulmates. But God only gives you one chance for the love of your life. Always remember that.
I've never heard that put so eloquently. Walter, can I ask you a semi-personal question?
Sure.
Okay. Way off subject, kind of. But you mentioned God. Do you really believe there is one?
Yes, I do. I didn't talk to him for a long time after the divorce. I guess I needed somebody to blame, but once I came to realize that it was all my fault, I made my peace with him.
I never really thought about him that much before, and I guess I haven't lived a life like I should. But maybe I should have a talk with him. Can't hurt anything, right?
Oh, good. That would be nice.
You know, maybe I'll go home and spend some time with my mom.
That would be great. I'm sure she would be thrilled at that. Surprised, too, I think.
Walter, why are there no guys like you my age?
Oh, there are. They're all around you. Just pay a little more attention.
Yeah. Okay, maybe I'll start to pay more attention to my surroundings. I've learned a lot more in these past few moments than a long time.
You know, I think I have too. And I think maybe I need to go and find myself a chick like you. More my age, though.
You would not want that nightmare. I'm so glad I told that woman off now, though. If I hadn't, we may not have had this conversation.
That's right.
It's been very, very nice talking to you, Walter.
It's very nice talking to you.
Maybe I'll see you again when I come home more often.
I look forward to it. It's been my pleasure.
Bye now. Walter.
Keeping that one.